One of the things we do here at NABN TV is to bring you local, national, and international story in its very authenticity. With me in the studio today is Dr. Nelson Aluya, who is a pediatrician, a medical advocate, and also the president of the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. Welcome, Dr. Aluya, to our studios.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Right,
Dr. Polo, it's a pleasure.
Nice to have you. We'll be talking, randomly about different subject matter, starting with a story that we're currently, handling here at our NABN TV studio, and that's the about Omicron variant, which is the new variant with the COVID, family. I did an interview recently, and I wanted to get your perspective on what the Omicron virus is currently.
Well, as you know, thank you for having me once again. As you know, Omicron virus is a variant of interest, a virus that has been proven to be so effective and was first identified in South Africa. I don't like to use the word, discovered, but rather identified, thanks to the amazing and incredible work of those great scientists who were South Africans and who basically showed the world that Africa is capable of doing such marvelous work, and they have great surveillance system, and the world should recognize that and give them homage, pay them homage for that, as a matter of fact. So, and that's what's basically what it is, and it's one of the variants of the original COVID-19 virus that caused a devastating effect across the globe.
Now, what makes the Omicron variant different from the Delta variant?
Well, because there have been reports that there were about 50 mutations of the variant itself. And on the spike protein, there were about 32 that was identified, on the receptor about 10 that was described. So when they did that, those incredible scientists in South Africa, when they did that, they had no identifiable function for some of those mutations. So they couldn't tell if they were actually more infective than usual, or the severity of the disease, or if it would escape the immune system, or even the vaccines that we have presently. So that's why they were really very concerned. And when they told the world about it, the world showed, the concerns and fear that they had, so that, they can help protect themselves. And of course, politicians took on and ran with that.
Right. Now in your assessment, would you say that the Omicron variant is more deadlier than the Delta variant? Do we have statistics to back that up?
Well, the reports that come in from South Africa do show that it's very effective. The infectivity is really high, and they had said about 500% more than the original variant that came out, or the original strain that came out of Wuhan, and about 4 times that of the Delta that's across the globe right now. But then the severity of the disease, again, is one thing that they haven't been able to prove yet. Those who have been infected with it have showed mild symptoms per se. But then again, like I said a few times in other interviews, there may be a reason for it. The people who are alive now were the people who survived their initial insult in the first place. So for some reason, they may have mounted a response one way or the other, and those who could not, passed on. Those who around people who were vaccinated. So of course, you have a circulating autoantibodies that the memory of the immune system will remember if any variant comes to you in the first place.
Now, for the benefits of our viewing audience, and now I heard you mention that the discovery was in South Africa. But the origin, identification, discovery, they've used the word, but the origin itself cannot be proven yet where it originated from.
No, you can't. I mean, when the South Africans first identified it, I think some late 24th or 25th of November, there were reports eventually that in Denmark or Netherlands, some of the samples that were taken for Schiphol Airport, for those who came into the country as far back as November 11th and 12th, actually had Omicron virus in those samples. So, but South Africans identified on the 24th. So obviously the virus has been around and has been spreading around the world. So yes, you can't tell where it's from. Botswana, South Africa, even the UK, it's hard to tell. But then great work to those South African
Yeah,
scientists.
so essentially the scientists in South Africa did what they had to do by informing the world that
Yes.
this is present currently with us. But
Yes.
we didn't hear that from Netherlands, where they may or may have not, discovered it earlier or identified it earlier.
Right. I mean, it's a shame and it's disgraceful for the Western world to think that nothing good can come out of Africa. The fact that that great scientists from South Africa were able to do this when they could not identify it, or maybe they did and they just kept quiet. Who knows? But then that's another story for another day. But one thing that is obvious and for sure is that these great guys did what they did, and they were noble enough to tell the world that this is what we found, and this is potentially very deadly, and the world should take precautions. But then, we know what the original, the novel virus that came out of China didn't do that much damage in Africa. So, I mean, for a number of reasons that we have come to understand right now, maybe that's why those in the Western world are so much more afraid that this virus does not do much damage to Africans. So,
Right.
if it comes there, then it becomes an issue, speaking frankly.
Yeah. Now, a lot has happened since this discovery in about 2 weeks ago,
Right.
approximately, and there's been a lot of travel ban restrictions, here and there, particularly with the African, countries where it was first identified. South Africa, to be precise, and then, but there's been other countries all around West Africa, East Africa, that's now been essentially penalized. At least that's their perception for the variant. Why is that?
Well, like I said again, it's a shame. It's disgraceful and disheartening for the rest of the world to do that to Africa when they should be lauding, Africa for the great work that those individuals did. The UN Secretary General said, this is tantamount to travel appetite, where you now, sanction a certain group of people for certain part of the country again from traveling because the virus came out of there. We've had the viruses in UK, in 52 countries across the globe. How many of them have been sanctioned? But why Africa? Again, everything is political, and they're going to play politics with this, and it's a shame. But then, again, that's why you and I have the discussions, and people like me, and people who represent organizations like NAPA, the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee, and other organizations of African, extract should stand up and push the word out there so that the narrative will not, be changed to a point where this has now become an African virus.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually going to be my next question. What is NAPAC doing currently to communicate to the world and your membership in particular that this is happening, and this are the precautions that should be taken? What are you putting out?
Well, the primary mandate of the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee is to create an awareness, to educate, inform, and engage Nigerian Americans here in the United States in the areas of policies and politics. But nevertheless, I'm sure you've seen some of the work we've done across the United States, and those who are Nigerians getting into politics and getting elected into office, and this is just the beginning. But we also have other mandates in the area where we push on agenda on tourism, youth empowerment, health. We have a cross number of doctors. I'm one of them as well, where we, right from the beginning, came on to inform our community, the Nigerian American community, and not just that, but the African community as a matter of fact, to inform us all about the disease, the signs and symptoms, what it is, what to look out for, and all that. And then, of course, provided materials to help alleviate the suffering of Nigerian Americans across the United States. And last Saturday, we actually did a show with the concerned citizens of Nigeria, where I and a few other community leaders came to speak on the Omicron virus itself, to identify where we as individuals, Nigerian Americans, where the role we need to play, how we need to help, educate our community, change the narrative, and as well as keep us well informed and reassure our minds that this is what it is and how well we we need to tackle the disease.
Now, are these information sessions that you've been having? I did attend a couple that you've had. Is it helping? Are people getting the message, and they've been responsive, and are they being responsible to follow the guidelines that's been offered?
Well, again, with everything in our community, it's education, education, education. But then outside of that is reinforcement, in the point that you have to repeat what you have to do. I mean, I'm a professor of medicine, and I teach this, and I teach medicine. I teach the community as well. So we have to reinforce and re-educate, and constantly put the message out there by print, by message, by Zoom meetings or webinar. However it needs to be done, yes, we have to, and we've seen great responses so far. A lot more people are listening and getting informed and getting educated and taking steps to protect themselves and protect their families and protect our community as a whole.
As the president of this organization, is there any kind of engagement that you have formally with the Nigerian government?
Our mandate is here in the United States, like you said from the name, the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. So a primary mandate is here in the United States and what concerns us. The contact we have, directly with the government will be through the embassy, where we've collaborated numerous times in programs we've had here, as the programs that they have from the consulate, the embassy across the United States, where we come together to inform our individuals, help make their job better, and help alleviate the pains and suffering of Nigerians here in the United States. Of course, it doesn't mean as Nigerians we're not concerned about what's going on.
Right.
Our role is to help collaborate with individuals back home. We support them. During the COVID, we understood the difficulties of what it is back home. And through our foundation, the NAPA Foundation, we've fed over 16,000 children in the Lagos, metropolis or surrounding.
Right.
And we continue to do that. We engage the NICOM as well, and areas where we find areas of collaboration in health, tourism, industry, youth empowerment and all that, just to help, create a conduit where there's, a seamless flow of information, and find areas of collaboration to help improve the lifestyle of Nigerians.
Now, real quick, for the last couple of minutes we have left, do you have information about the membership, if people wanted to join NAPAC, for instance? What websites and contact information?
Yes, we're all about napacusa.org. Just go on. For now, we're still updating our website, but of course, you can still go on and see all the activities we're doing. You can log on and register. Hopefully, in the next, by the end of the year, we'll have it up and running as the way we ought to, so that people will get the right information and things that we really need to get our work done. So, I mean, to all Nigerian Americans here in the United States, we're here. Our role is to help improve awareness and help create a collective strategy for Nigerian Americans here in the area of policies and politics. Like I always say, not everybody is interested in politics, and not everybody will run for office. But it doesn't mean that you, as a Nigerian who's here in the United States, cannot become involved in policy making here in the United States. We have individuals who are smart, brilliant, who are lawyers, engineers, accountants. They can be Secretary General someday, or Absolutely. Secretary of Industries, being boss. Yes, so and that's what we're doing. We're doing that so that we will create that platform for them to do this.
Of course, I can vouch for NAPAC. I'm a member of NAPAC, here in New Jersey.
Well, and, I guess everybody becomes NAPAC then.
Yes, everybody, welcome. Yeah, you know what to do. You have the contact information to join NAPAC. Thanks very much for your public service information and the advocacy work that you're doing on behalf of the people of Nigerians and Africans here in New Jersey and beyond. I want to say thank you again for coming to
yes, it's a pleasure.
Our show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, viewers, we'll see you around. My name is Anthony Afalo. Thanks for watching.
NABN TV, inspiring a new generation.